Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand. Take back, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left on without him. The songs howl like me, it's at an RJ, soaking moonlit falls, unbroken past this devastated orb that we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.
Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 72, brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network at outrightgeekery.com. Also, we are live on YouTube via the SMB Network. Make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. Share out the link. Please, God, for the love of God, if it's Dauber or JP, stop breathing in your microphone. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm VAWLS JP. We go bowling.
And I'm Dauber. Yep.
Oh, goodness gracious. I don't know who it is, but boys, goodness gracious, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of our closest friends hanging out tonight. IC86 is here. David Johnson says, finally a bowl game. Jonathan Santos is drinking that orange drink. Make sure you guys do smash that like button. Share out the link. Let's grow this live chat. Let's talk. You guys are already sending the super chats. We're going to hit them here in just a second. Whew. My face is red. My blood pressure is up. Tennessee tried every possible way to give this game away. But yet here we are celebrating 24-20 win, going bowling, 2 block field goals, horrible clock management, stupid penalties, a fourth quarter fumble in the red zone when you had a chance to put a game away. Ty Chandler calling fair catch. I don't understand the rule either, so I guess I can't blame the kid. But none of that matters because 24-20 balls roll. You guys relieved? You relieved? Do you just feel relief? Is that what you feel?
Yeah. It was absolutely maddening trying to watch that football game because they dominated the football game, and we kept giving them opportunities to get back into it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, we just kept playing with fire, and I was sitting there thinking we are going to end up losing this game, and we're just going to be all just so mad.
Let me hit these couple of super chats, then we'll move forward with it. Kenny Ashby, you guys are dropping them before we even got in here. $5 super chat. I don't know if you caught the Wednesday show, Kenny, but we did miss your super chat last week. We appreciate the support. I apologize for that, but thanks for the support again this week. Man, this win was ugly, but beautiful at the same time. Go big, damn Orange. We also have a $9.99 super chat from Jonathan Santos. Thank you for the support. If JG can go big, then I'm going to dig deep for some money. Dig into them ball wallets. We appreciate the support. What about you, Dauber? Just relief?
It is, but the only reason this game was as close as it was is because we kept them in the game.
Yep.
I mean, like, exactly what you hit on there. The penalties, the drops. You didn't mention the drops. Jennings had a drop. Callaway had a drop. The drop by Jordan was a sure first down that we ended up, that I think was on the one of the block field goals. Man, I just, in our text back and forth, we were talking. We just need to put a team away. I mean, this is 5 in the last 6. So, I mean, or 4 in the last 5. This team has turned the corner, and if you can't see that, then I mean, despite the mistakes, and that's the thing that I'm liking. Yeah, we had mistakes. We had dumb, stupid penalties that killed drives for us, but we're growing out of the fact that causes us to lose games.
Yeah, how many times are we sitting here because of mistakes?
Yeah,
it leads to a loss. But this, like you said, turning the corner is perfect wording. This team is finding a way to turn that corner. And even though you went out, they did not play well at all. across the board, top to bottom tonight, but they still found a way to get it done. Will Good with a $4.99 super chat. We appreciate your support. Will says, this is why we got to learn to be patient. Can't wait till next year. I'm excited, man. I'm excited because these are the games you're supposed to win. These are the games you need to win. In Tennessee, like Dobber said, 5 out of the last 6, with the only loss coming to an Alabama team that Tennessee took to the limit. This team is getting better. How about Jarrett Garantano? Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen for the death and the resurrection? He didn't play perfect by any means. He made some bad throws tonight. He did, but he made some great throws. He stood in the pocket in pressure. He scrambled at times and made plays with his feet.
Explain to me how that he can throw those passes down the middle of the field, the sideline, and all that, and then it's a swing pass out to the boundary.
I would never call that play again,
dude,
ever.
That dude cannot complete a darn lateral pass out like that at all. I mean, they are horrible.
It could have been a fumble. It could have been a fumble. It was close.
I mean, even that one to Jennings he had there. I mean, I thought that was a good setup play. I think Jennings would have probably made that defensive back miss, or he probably ran over him, and he just couldn't get his hands on it. But it's crazy how that Garantano's touch on those lateral passes like that is just not there. But hats off to him. I mean, heck of a game.
What did he end up with?
400 and some yards.
415, 23 of 40, 10-yard average. Two TDs.
Yeah. And talking about the offensive line, I mean, obviously we didn't run the ball worth of crap, and we continue to struggle running the ball. But I think that you got to really give hats off to the offensive line for the way that they protected Garantano. Because, I mean, obviously when you throw for 400 and some yards and you got 3 wide receivers that go over 100 each, then you got plenty of time. And anybody sat down and watched that football game tonight saw that we were just absolutely just killing them. Killing them passing.
As Dauber mentioned before we went live, first time in Tennessee history that 3 wide receivers have gone over 100. How about that ballsy ballsy play call on 3rd and 5 with the game on the line? And you recognize as an offensive coordinator, we are struggling to run the football. How many coaches run it there and just let the clock run, punt, and play defense? And Jim Chaney says, no, I'm gonna go to the man that has got us to this point, the two men, Jarrett Garantano and Juwan Jennings, and they pick up the first down and end the game on offense. Don't give Missouri a chance. I love the play call. I love that it was Garantano to Jennings too. Just made it even more sweet.
Yeah, but we could have ended it on the series before if we didn't cough it up.
Yeah, sure. I'm just saying,
we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing
the play
that.
Call. Well, All Day Vol, $2 super chat. Thank you for the support. Go ahead, Robert.
I don't think Jordan will see much action the rest of the year.
He was in there at the very end, though. I mean, he got that run play before we started nailing the ball. So
yeah,
I don't know, but it's like, of course, it was Chandler that fumbled against Kentucky. So but. I mean, that's just the things that this team, that's the next progression for this football team, is they got to quit doing these stupid penalties. They got to keep doing things that get them, if they get a first down and then, or they had that one good running play down there, and then they got Calvert for holding. Those are the things like that, and that's what Pruitt's, that's what Pruitt's saying in his post game. He's harping about how that they got to play smarter, and they do, because, I mean, if they play smart tonight and they don't turn the football over and they don't have, for whatever reason, that they were allowing the Missouri's defensive line to penetrate on the field goals. I mean, this team wins big time, and we're not sitting there sweating. I mean, I got sweat pouring off of me, and it's 30 degrees outside.
I had my door open because my face was bloodshot because I was so nervous. But it's like me and Dobber said, though. It's the turning point is, yes, this Tennessee team did not do every little thing they needed. This was a bad game. When you sit back and look at it, they still won, and that is all that matters is wins and losses.
Well, that's what we've talked about Florida the last couple of years. The games that, they have every reason to lose, looking at the stats, looking at heck, what was it earlier this year? They had a game with 5 turnovers in the first half and still won. When you become a good team, you can win a game not playing your best football. And earlier in the season, we did not have that luxury. We could not afford turnovers or penalties that killed drives or things like that. You want to talk about a dumb penalty? What about Schamberger?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
If you're going to get that penalty, at least make it worth it.
I hate to call a kid out, but, I mean, the Bryant was slowing down. Schamberger was slowing down. And I know it was kind of ticky-tack, but
you still got to call it. You got to call that.
But speaking of calling things, okay, this targeting stuff.
Let me hit these super chats, then we'll transition to targeting. Trip Pugh, $5 super chat. Thank you for the support. Says Boogie was right last week. We needed a 7-5 season. The Pruitt era has officially begun. We're over Florida and going straight for Georgia.
Calm down now.
That's a bold move, Cotton. Let me know if it pays off for you. We also have a 99-cent super chat from Ty Myers. Just a tip of the cap. We appreciate your support. We got another $5 super chat from Gabe Correa. Tennessee Vols played to win. I like the play calling and the coaching staff we have. Go Vols. You guys want to touch on that? Or you? What?
Except the 2-minute drill there at the end of the first half.
And the clock management. I
mean, well, the management of 3 timeouts and calling one before you even get the drive going, and then you call one after you get a first down. And the clock should stop anyway.
I didn't get that.
It seemed to me like he thought that they were short of the first down, but it was just strange. It was strange.
And part of it probably is to blame on the crappy SEC refs. I mean, they just continue to have no clue whatsoever. I mean, it's just a big bunch of bumbling. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a clue.
Yeah. Well, let's transition that to what Dabra was talking about before we hit those super chats and the targeting calls. Jennings got drilled helmet to helmet on the goal line.
And they don't even stop to look at it.
Not even looked at.
But the official in the booth calls a medical timeout to take him out of the game on the play that they review and said there was no helmet-to-helmet contact.
I know. It makes no sense at all. It makes no sense at all. And I don't even know how that you can even have a discussion about it. And the next time that Matt Austin gets on there and starts his rambling crap, because it wouldn't matter what the decision was, he's going to agree with everything that those refs do. Because, I mean, that's what he's paid to do.
Don't you love how they're trying to validate? They're trying to validate Jennings coming out of the game. Well, he was down on a knee. Yeah, he was down on a knee. He recognized 2 flags, started clapping, and then immediately stood up. That's a medical timeout.
It's just unreal. I mean, again, I don't even know how to even try to even explain it, because I don't think that you can, because I don't even think that they even know what the definition of this targeting is, because obviously they don't look at it for every single play, because how in the world that call on Batuli in that Bama game could be targeting, and that play on Jennings down there at the goal line tonight was not targeting? I have no idea. I have no earthly idea.
Absolutely.
The only difference is that was a Bama game. That's the only difference.
Yep. In Tuscaloosa nonetheless.
Yep.
What makes no sense is that they reviewed the one later in the game that was clearly not targeting.
Yeah,
and they stopped to review that. It makes no sense. Makes no sense. Yeah, Jacob James, you're talking wrestling. I got to watch TakeOver tonight, and then I got to watch Survivor Series Sunday. But come hang out, man. Thursday night, 10 o'clock right here.
You watching wrestling tonight?
There's a NXT pay-per-view tonight. I won't watch it tonight. I have to watch it before the Wrestling Council Thursday.
Oh,
he's talking wrestling in the live chat. I'm trying to plug my other podcast.
Gosh, it's 11:30. Surely you're not going, after you finish this, not going to sit down and watch some wrestling.
Never know, man. Never know.
I know. Oh, but doesn't it feel good to go bowling?
It feels good to have it done, over and done with, and out of the way.
Because I was going to be so nervous, even though that Vanderbilt is horrible. I mean, still, I could just see Keyshawn Vaughn running for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns next Saturday.
Did you see their crowd today?
Well, that's what I was going to say. They might get nervous playing in front of more than 200 people.
That's it's sad. Man. It's sad for those kids, for those Vanderbilt kids.
Absolutely, especially the seniors.
Yeah, just embarrassing, man. Senior night, and you got what? It looked like 200 people. It looked like a high school game.
Yeah, I'd say there was probably more people in Kingsport for Dobbins Bennett game Friday night against Maryville.
I would put a lot of money on that. I would say there's no doubt that that's the truth. I'll go on record now. Tennessee's going to throttle Vanderbilt next week. They will destroy. Right. They'll destroy Vanderbilt. No doubt in my mind.
I hope you're right. I hope that you're right, because if we finish 7-5 and we should beat Vanderbilt, then Tennessee's going to a bowl game in Florida. And if anybody would have thought after the first 2 weeks that Tennessee was going to a bowl game at all, much less one in Florida, I mean, maybe the Toilet Bowl, but, I mean, to think that this team, all that they need to do is beat Vanderbilt next week, and it sounds like that they're going to the Tax Slayer Bowl or whatever it's called now, Gator Bowl, whatever it's called in Jacksonville. That is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and you have to tip your cap. And yes, there is issues with this team. There's no denying that. They're not the most talented team by far, but the way that this coaching staff has been able to get them to buy in, and they've been able to turn it around, I mean, hats off to them. And I know we've seen it here in the live chat, and I know that we've talked about it before. What if that we'd won those first 2 games and we could have been 9-3? Yes, I mean, I understand that, but at this point in time, we just got to move forward with that, and continue to support this team, and hope that what Pruitt has instilled in them, and the way that he's been able to slowly change this culture this year and weed out some of that negativity and some of those guys that didn't even care, because that's one thing. I mean, you can tell that these players care now. The coaching and the way that they've got some of these players to improve, and Nigel Warrior, I have no idea what has happened to him.
Man, he balled out tonight again.
He is playing lights out. I mean, he is playing lights out. I mean, it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy.
He listened to Talkin VAWLS and got inspired.
Yeah.
Well, he was embarrassed that I called out Dale Carter getting a paternity test.
It happened immediately after that Talkin VAWLS episode. The kid flipped the switch. It did. Everybody in the live chat knows it's true. Dauber inspired Nigel Warrior. It is what it is. We got 158 of our closest friends hanging out, celebrating. The balls are going bowling. I'm rocking my new Talkin VAWLS hoodie. Smash that like button. Share out the link. Let's grow this thing. Let's get over 200. Let's get over 200 without us yelling at each other.
I got my hoodie today, courtesy of Wayne. Wayne, I appreciate it, but I am burning up. I was going to put it on to record tonight, and I was down there sweating during that game, and I said, I can't do it. So
I don't have it on for the team.
But I got it here at the house, and it feels good. It's nice.
It is super nice. They're soft.
It is super, super, super nice.
Let's get # Dauber inspired trending on Twitter. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I know, but somebody, Bobby Taco, saying next season going to be weird, losing a lot of key players. Yeah, I mean, we are going to miss 15-1.
1-15.
Yeah, we are going to miss them. I mean, it's going to probably be like it was, whenever Dobbs left, and we were like, oh, okay,
let's not get carried away.
Garantano coming in, and we saw what kind of drop off that was, but
do you think
15?
Do you think JG leaves?
I don't know at this point.
I do not think so. The way the end of this season is playing out,
I hope he does.
The way he played tonight, the numbers he put up tonight, I think, like I said, I think Tennessee throttles Vanderbilt. I don't think he leaves. I think he comes back believing because the kid is he's a fighter, man. He is a fighter.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We were not expecting his poor play at the beginning of the season.
No,
we never thought quarterback play was a question mark, and it was just I don't know, the regression and the performance was just awful.
I mean, whether or not that you want to admit it or not, you know, he's one of the big reasons why that this team is reeled off 5 of 6.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you know,
and I think that shows what the coaching staff saw at the beginning of the year. It's that I don't know, calming effect, that experience, and you just hope that the guys on the sideline that are behind him are taking it in and they're learning. You know, I think we've got Harrison Bailey coming in next year if he sticks with the commitment. I mean, the future doesn't look bleak at quarterback. And another thing that we've hardly hit on, we've got Taysom Hill, the transfer from Maryland that's sitting out this year. So, I mean, there's going to be competition. I don't know. It's hard to say if JG stays, just with all the drama. Listen, Maurer is – you don't know what to think about Maurer right now.
How weird was it that he got ran out on the field on that random second down?
I thought JG might have been hurt. You know, got dinged up, got his hand hit. But yeah, it was totally weird. But yeah, Bailey is putting up huge numbers. I think Marietta is still playing. I saw something on Twitter. He's now the 4th career passing yards in the state of Georgia, behind Trevor Lawrence, Fromm, and the kid at for the Houston Texans. Drawing a blank right now. Somebody help me.
I'm not helping you. Sorry,
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, yeah. So Harrison Bailey's career passing yards in high school, he's now behind those guys in the state of Georgia. Over 10,000 yards. But, I mean, you're talking about a 17-year-old kid who has a couple studs on the ends that he's throwing the ball up to.
Yeah, some of the same people that are saying that Harrison Bailey is the answer are also ripping Jarrett Garantano. And I hope Harrison Bailey comes in and starts from day one, because you know what that tells me? Based on what we saw this year, that tells me that Pruitt sees that Harrison Bailey is the answer, and that's why he's going to get on the field. I took a lot of heat for that death and resurrection of Jarrett Garantano. I don't know if either one of you listened to it. I wasn't saying that Garantano has been resurrected. I was saying that the game against Missouri is his chance to be resurrected. And I still took
415 passing yards.
I think he did. Think he's resurrected. We'll see what he does next week.
So, yeah, you know, but I mean, we just got to continue.
Rev Ryan Hoskins reminds me, JP is going to wear that orange Gatorade. What was that bet?
If it went out.
If it was 7-5, or did it include a bowl game?
No, I think it was just went out the rest of the
season. Just 7-5. Because it was at the holiday party, right? At the Christmas party.
Yep.
We're going to go back to JP's house and dump orange Gatorade. Dude, we are this. Who's going to pay? I think you should have to pay for the orange Gatorade, too. JJ Banks says, Boogie, I thought the
99 cents at Food City, so they're not expensive.
It's going to take a lot to fill up a Gatorade jug, though.
No, we just pour one of them.
I appreciate that, JJ Banks. Dude, that was just a spur of the moment thing. I just decided to throw that up for you guys. Tajon, I don't know where Tajon's at. I dropped it a day early just for him, and he didn't even comment on it. It hurt my feelings. So what do you guys think, Jeremy Pruitt? I told you guys I'm starting to buy in. I'm starting to buy in, but I saw again tonight some things that I can't be 100% bought in. I cannot say he's the guy because of some things I saw tonight. Where are you at as an overall coming through this full season? Looking at everything, we got to remember Georgia State and BYU. We got to remember winning 5 of the last 6. We got to remember that Alabama game. Where are you on Jeremy Pruitt?
For a guy that's coached What are we now? Maybe 20 games.
He's probably what, 500, close to it.
What 5-7 last year?
Yeah, if they beat Vanderbilt, 500.
6-5. Yeah. So I mean, you're just over 20 games. I'm with him. You know, with the state of the program that he came into. And listen, I talked about it Wednesday. It wasn't just flipping the roster. It wasn't just different players. It was a complete culture change. It was getting rid of the mentality, the way of thinking, the how are we going to lose next, the team thinking we don't even have a chance. Just that culture and that where the program was and had been for 20 years, just changing all of that. And listen, it's still probably not completely gone. It is getting to that point though, and we saw it tonight, and we touched on it to start the show. We won a game that was ugly, and that we had some mistakes and we had some errors, and we still battled through that and came out with the W. I mean, that's, you know, I'm going to support whoever the quarterback or the coach is, whoever the quarterback is, whoever's out there. Doesn't mean I'm not going to question a play call or
Right.
whatever, but I want whoever is in that position, whoever is on the field taking the snaps to be successful. So, you know, I'm behind him. I like where this team is trending. I like the momentum. I like what he's building, and as long as that continues, man, I just you look at Florida State. Taggart was it in his second year, but you know, I think that was a different situation with the administration and the athletic department. That's one thing that Pruitt has going for him. He's got Fulmer behind him, and Fulmer knows what it takes to win, and he knows what a coach needs to be successful.
Well, let me ask you, JP, because the live chat is saying, Boogie, ask JP, is he ride or die with Pruitt? Let me tell you guys something. JP is ride or die with anybody. He just criticizes him more than I do. He wants him to win, maybe a little bit more aggressive than me and Dauber, but he is ride or die still. Comic Book Bob, thanks for sharing out, buddy. We appreciate that.
I mean,
see you Thursday.
Pruitt's a good football coach. The jury's still out whether or not that he's going to be a successful head coach at UT. I think that he has learned some things this year, and obviously, I mean, you have to give him credit for the way that he was able to keep this team together and the improvements that they've made. I mean, it really is remarkable because I had no faith. I mean, I had absolutely zero confidence that this team, after that 0-2 start, would win more than 2 or 3 football games. I had zero confidence. I mean, with the way that the quarterback play was going, I mean, it was absolutely horrible.
This team could have crumbled and packed it in after the second week.
They could have, and you know, that's been one of the most impressive things to me to see with the way that this team has done, because you know, just as early as that Florida game, I mean, we've talked about it on here when Tennessee was down 7-0 and they were driving, and Garantano threw that pass to Jennings and he dropped it, or didn't drop it, he tipped it, and Florida intercepted in the end zone. We all knew that ball game was over. We all knew that Tennessee would never be able to recover from that. And for them now, you know, what is it? South Carolina game, first play from scrimmage, you know, 70 or 80-yard touchdown, whatever it was, 75-yard touchdown. You know, Kentucky was up 13-0. And then, you know, tonight they go right down the field and kick a field goal, you know, and Tennessee battles back. And that's the things that a lot of these players that they weren't used to doing because they would just end up folding.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw it over and over and over again, and then it would just snowball.
Les Wadley says, did the game tonight not look like a Jim Chaney called game for his first time at Tennessee? I'm kind of mixed on the play calling because there were so many times
we didn't have
that
a choice.
I agree. Exactly. That's why I'm kind of mixed on it, because there were so many times, and I even texted you guys, especially at the end of the game, I wish they could run the football. But when you can't, he just said, screw it, we're going to throw it. And they had success throwing it. So why? I mean, sure. I mean, I think he did a great job. But I think since we heard the comments at halftime from Pruitt when he said we got to be more aggressive on offense, I think Chaney has done that since then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that I wanted to hit on the play calling is I think the confidence that Chaney is now showing in Garantano. And I don't know if it's necessarily and that's something we'll never know, is if it's different play calling or earlier in the year, everything Garantano was doing was check downs or dumping it off to the back out of the backfield. In the first half, we had 7 plays of 20 or more yards. And I think we ended the game with 10 completions of over 20 yards.
That's insane.
I mean, that's, everything earlier in the season, we were throwing 6, 7, 8 yard passes. And on a 3rd and 9, we'd throw a 7-yard route. Tonight, how many times did we throw short of the chains?
Yeah, well, it was so
hardly,
the play calling early. The play calling early in the season was so weird because all we heard was Shrout and Maurer turn the ball over. We don't have confidence in them, so we start Garantano. But the play calling changed between Garantano and Maurer. It's like they showed more confidence in Maurer, but now it seems like we're seeing that more aggressive play calling with JG. And look at the success they've had
with a broken hand, nonetheless.
Well, he can't hand the ball off.
Broke it to start the season if he's going to play like that.
I know.
I don't know what his deal was. I mean, honestly, I don't. But I mean, I'm glad that he's turned it around because, gosh, I mean, I can only imagine probably what this football team would be like. I mean, isn't that unbelievable that I'm about ready to say I could only imagine what this football team would be like without Jarrett Garantano under center. Can you believe that I'm saying that?
We all are that way, man.
I mean,
a video that said Brian Maurer was the future.
Yeah,
and people are loving it. What happened to that? And here we are. Here we are now, like 2 weeks later. It's the most baffling season in the history of Tennessee football.
Well, that's what DA was texting me during the game. And
don't start on that. I'll cuss him out on air.
No, he was cool, but that's what he said. He was
like, what he was trying to do.
No,
yes, you do.
Let's calm down. Let's calm down.
Right. We're going to talk about this off air.
It's cool. It's cool.
We're going to talk.
It's cool.
Dauber doesn't even know what happened.
No.
We'll talk about it off air.
Who wants me to sing Rocky Top? Somebody keeps on wanting me to sing. Is that Jordan Young?
It's going to take a big old fat super chat to get that going.
Nobody wants to hear that. Shoo.
I do.
I'd wake up the whole
Troy Lee says no, please no.
It's actually a hell no, JP.
Well, try not to get demonetized.
I think there's somebody asking us about what we thought about the offensive line, and that's what I said. I mean, hats off to them for pass blocking, but this run blocking, I still cannot understand why that we had more success running the ball against Alabama than we really have any other team outside of, Chattanooga or whatever. But still, I mean, it's just crazy to me that that we're still struggling with that. But yeah, I mean, other than that one sack there in the fourth quarter, and I think person that put it in the chat hit on it. I don't think that was the offensive line's fault. That was Garantano's fault.
Yeah, he held the ball forever.
He held the ball on forever. I was like, oh my goodness, get rid of it. So that was probably his worst decision tonight.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, other than him being wild throwing out to the darn flats and trying to throw a lateral pass out there in the flats that he can't complete. That's just crazy to me. So
what you guys think of the little wrinkle? Was it Calvert? I guess they were stepping back and moving in motion. I like that. I like that a lot. And I think it could open up.
He absolutely whiffed.
Yeah. But play calling wise, I like it. And I think you could use it, because they ran every time they did it. And you could throw a little wrinkle, move some play action in there. I don't know, do some stuff with it. I liked it.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing. Talk about Missouri was only in the game due to our mistakes and gimmicky play calling, on that double pass. But I mean, we still got to defend that a little bit better. What was it? Dooley always said, or no, was it Butch? Eye discipline.
Let's not go there. But you're right. I can't remember. I don't remember. Was it Batuli? I think it was Batuli that botched that.
It was Henry T, I believe.
Was it? I couldn't remember. Yeah, he shoved off the receiver, and he was. Yeah.
But
yeah, but I hadn't really seen that before, and that's what the announcer was talking about. Putting Calvert in motion, and but that's a pretty good idea, actually.
I like it.
Good idea,
and I think Tennessee had more success running the ball outside tonight. I would have liked to seen them do that a little bit more. The toss plays, the stretch plays seem to work a little better, but it's hard to complain when you win, right? I don't know, unless it's Kentucky, then you might start yelling at each other and things might get weird.
Brandon Ops talking about Juwan Jennings. Yeah, I watched that interview that Price had with him. It was awesome. It was awesome. Yeah,
good stuff. Yeah.
Jennings. I mean, again, we're going to miss him. I mean, I don't think that we really understand how good that he has been.
Sure, I don't know. I think people. I mean, I think we do realize.
Yeah, but I'm telling. I mean. Well, just think though, next year. I mean, who's going to fill that role?
Nobody can.
I know,
because when you look at it on paper, when you look at size, when you ask me who I want on my team, when I'm just sitting back looking, I'm taking Callaway over Jennings all day long. And then you watch them play, and it's not even a question. Jennings is the best receiver on this football team.
That's the thing, and I said it early in the season because he was the only one playing like he wanted to be out there. He wills things to happen. He's like, he catches the ball at the 10. He's like, these guys aren't tackling me.
Yeah,
and gets in the end zone. I was surprised on that Wildcat that he didn't get in. Man, he got hit.
Oh man,
that was big boy football right there. But popped right back up and proceeded to go for 115 yards on 5 catches.
Well, look at the touchdown catch he had against, what was it, South Carolina?
Yeah.
When JG got hurt and Jennings got lit up, he just stood up like nobody's.
Yeah, and that's
no problem.
What was his stat line tonight? What was Jennings' stat line?
Jennings was 6 for 110.
He only caught 6 passes?
6 balls.
Golly, I thought he had caught 10, I felt like.
Palmer
had a good day too, man.
Palmer had 6 for 124. Callaway had 5 for 115. And Jennings had 6 for 110.
Archie Bunker says, rank the Vols wide receivers in the SEC. Are we top 3? They're pretty dang good, man. Palmer is very underrated. Davis is always in the live chat talking about how Palmer doesn't really get respect, and he's a good receiver, man.
That's I was going there next. You talk about losing Callaway. And
he's going to step it up next year.
Palmer's going to be the guy. But then you look at Brandon Johnson.
Look at Keaton. Keaton's made some plays this year.
Well, Brandon Johnson took a red shirt to come back next year to help this. And they announced earlier this week that Phil Zami did the same thing. So that's I was talking with a buddy at work about this. That those type of things that you see players doing, being unselfish, thinking about the team, thinking, you know what, and I don't know if it's the coaching staff brings it up or if the players are like, hey, I've only played in the 4 games. Why don't I redshirt? because I can help the team next year.
Yeah.
That's that mentality and that way of thinking. That's what you like to see. I mean, I know I would love to have, 11 Jawan Jennings on each side of the ball, because that dude has a motor that does not quit. And like I said, he wills things to happen. Yeah, no one special brings up Gibbs, the transfer from Georgia. I think isn't he a speedster? Isn't that one of his big things?
Yeah. They're saying that he's been tearing it up in scout team, but
yeah. I mean it's going to be interesting. But yeah, we are losing a couple guys that are.
I mean, it's going to be hard to replace those two. I mean, and what all that Jennings brings to the table, I don't think that you really can.
Well, it's not just numbers and catches and plays on the field. It's that leadership, and we're talking about a guy who is a season and a half removed from being dismissed from the team.
Oh yeah,
I mean it's such a redemption story, and Pruitt comes in, he's not on the team, and they're like, what was it Pruitt said earlier in the season when he was asked about Jennings? I went around and I talked to everybody here, and none of those people are here, and they all said no, don't let him back on the team or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think. Yeah, the kid messed up, and that's I've seen a little bit of buzz about bringing back Banks and giving him another chance.
That's two different things, though.
It is, and it's completely different. But that is the and we talked about it before he was dismissed, and all, the whole situation, all that. And I know that. The second video that well, I mean either video, those things
they're both a bad look.
They're both a bad look. They're both things that shouldn't happen, but they're also things that's what these coaches are doing. They're molding these young men into adults and respectable people in the community, and
that was our stance on it when it happened.
Yeah,
it's what happens to Jeremy Banks if you kick him off the team. But on the flip side of that, the second video, you got to kick him off the team.
Oh, absolutely.
But you still have to continue to help him develop and grow as a person.
I never question that. But I mean, that's something that I could see Pruitt possibly doing.
I hope if he does, I hope he makes him earn
next
it.
year.
He makes him earn it.
And no doubt, I guarantee you, that's what Jennings has had to do. He had hurdles and steps to get through to get back on the team.
Let me hit this super chat real quick from Ty Myers for $1.99. Thank you for the support. We appreciate all you guys for the super chats. Paying for the Christmas dinner we're about a month away from. I can't wait. It's going to be great. Derek Dooley ruined Kelly Bryant in the NFL. Why was Derek Dooley wearing sunglasses? Does he wear his sunglasses at night?
Maybe he's trying to be like Eric's church or something. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't know what his deal was.
Brandon Opp wants us to come hang out in Jacksonville. I said this on the Wednesday show, but it was kind of a small crowd because it was Wednesday after a bye week. Basketball team was playing. So I'll repeat it here. I did talk to a local business owner in our area. They've agreed to host the Talkin VAWLS meet and greet and watch party for the opener next year, which is against Charlotte. So it's hopefully a game we can sit back, relax, have a good time, drink some beer, and get to know each other. So that is in the works. So be planning for that. I'll drop the location once we get closer to the time, but be on the lookout. It's going to be the home opener next year. It will be in the Tri-Cities region, East Tennessee. So make plans, come hang out. We look forward to hanging out with you guys. I was thinking we need to have name tags. Make you guys put name tags with your YouTube names on them so we know who you are. But I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be good times. What else you got, JP?
Big old drink of Powerade.
He's talking about you can't hide money. You can't hide money. JP talking about going to Jacksonville if they go bowling down there.
My Lord, it ain't but an 8-hour drive.
I'm just trying to pay my freaking mortgage payment every month.
Well, I've got one of those too.
Oh, I thought your house was paid for in cash.
Yeah, right. I wished. I wished. I don't even know what we was even talking about. Sorry.
It's my fault for hitting
reading
that
the super chat.
It's my fault for hitting that super chat.
Oh, you were talking about the meet and greet and all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
With that.
Before that, we were talking about Dooley's sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
Well, what a great podcast this is. We
I
got
know, right?
166 people hanging out for some reason.
Hey, it could have been different. We could have had Dooley over there in a wheelchair or on a with a stool or a pair of crutches or something like that.
Do you think he's talked to those guys at Missouri about shower discipline?
I wonder if he's got like a yellow dog that he brings out to practice too. I wonder if he does that.
Where was his yellow pants at?
I don't know. I don't know where his yellow pants were.
What an idiot, man.
Dilly looks like a meth head. Lord, whoa.
So let's take this direction. We got about 15 minutes left to hang out. Unless the super chats start rolling in, then we'll sit here all night and talk about what chili or whatever y'all pals orders, whatever y'all want to talk about. What will your mindset be, both of you guys, heading into next year, if this team takes care of business against Vanderbilt and then they go and win a Florida Bowl game, finish with 8 wins? What are you going to be looking at for next year? Or is the jury just still out and you're just going to have to keep waiting and see? Wait and see.
Man, it's going to be interesting. I don't want to rattle off something right now just to answer it because it's going to be an interesting offseason to see what happens at quarterback. I'd like to get through the spring camp and kind of see where we are, see if JG stays or goes.
I look back to was it Texas A&M that Tennessee throttled in a bowl game, and then it was Iowa Tennessee throttled in a bowl game, and the hype going into the next season was so high. And that's what I'm starting to feel. That's why I'm asking you guys, because I see this team finishing 7-5. They go win a bowl game. The expectation is going to be up here, and it's year 3. Year 3. It's time. You got to improve.
I just want to throw it out there that JP mentioned earlier where we'd be if we won those first 2 games, and we'd be at 9-3.
Be a different season.
I think somebody threw 9-3 out as a ceiling for this team.
Maybe you're right. You're right. I just think
freaking harassed like nobody's business.
Hey,
Matt Griffith, just tell your wife that it's fraud. It'll work out. Go ahead, JP. Sorry.
I said in the preseason, just make it to a bowl. So 6-6. So I'm playing with house money next week against Vandy.
Well, this team is exactly where we thought. I think we all thought this is where we would be. Darwin just said he thought this team could win 9 games.
I said the ceiling is 9 wins.
But on the flip side of that, and we've talked about this and we beat it into the ground, if this team beats Georgia State and they beat BYU, I think this season might play out differently. I think this team has played pissed off, us against the world, and I think we saw that in the second half. JT Thompson says college football is better when the balls are in the
Amen to that.
I think there's 164 people in the live chat that agree. But go ahead, Dauber.
I mean, we've come off of 3 straight wins, and Missouri
5 out of 6.
4 straight. Missouri was 4 straight losses. Only scored 17 points in the last 3 or something like that, and we were still dogs going into this game. Where's any kind of respect for momentum?
I like it.
But yeah, like you said, I think this team they've kind of embraced that mentality, and they're not playing for anybody but the guys in that locker room, the guys beside them, and I said it after the Mississippi State game when we had all those turnovers that we're starting to see the mentality and the hallmarks of a Pruitt coach team. There's an emphasis placed on defense. There's an emphasis placed on tackling, getting to the ball, causing havoc, creating turnovers, and then we've got to have the offense to take those turnovers and convert them into points. And I mean, I think we're slowly getting that way, and I think a few more pieces to the puzzle. You know, going into next year, like I said, I'm still reserved, but I like the way we're trending. Because we're definitely we're trending up, and the team is improving, and you see that week to week. We talked about it earlier. We made mistakes tonight that in a game earlier in the year, close game like this, those mistakes would have hurt us.
JP, do you think the last 10 years of Tennessee football are why we're reserved? Like Dauber's talking about being reserved going into next year. Do you think that's why? Because that's why
absolutely.
There's nobody on planet Earth that supported Derek Dooley and Butch Jones as long as I did. But I went into this Pruitt hire and said, I am not going to jump the gun. I am not going to buy in until he proves it on the field. But here I find myself right on the verge. So do you think that's a factor?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely is for me, for sure, because I was tired of buying in and being given all this false hope and everything. But, you know, next year, I mean, Tennessee football this year is where I expected them to be as far as record wise. You know, I said, you know, just make a bowl game, all that. However, they got there way different than I would have ever expected them to, you know, because I was expecting them to beat Georgia State for sure, expecting them more than likely to beat BYU, and then, you know, lose to South Carolina and Mississippi State potentially, you know, that. But next year, in my opinion, and yes, we are losing some key pieces. I mean, you know, you look offensively, like we've already talked about with Jennings and Callaway that we're losing, and you know, who knows what's going to happen at the quarterback position with Garantano. And then, you know, I would say for sure that Trey Smith's gone. You know, I just don't see him coming back. And then on the defense, you know, we're losing Batuli, and you know, we saw how the defense struggled while he was hurt at the beginning of the season, and then the impact that Warrior has made. You know, this you know, the last 6 or 7 games. You know, with that, so he's gone too. So there's definitely going to be a lot of pieces there, several pieces that we're going to have to, you know, have some players and step up. But in my opinion, next year, and I don't have the schedule here in front of me, but I do know that we replace BYU with Oklahoma basically as far as a non-conference game. So, you know, if we finish 7-5 this year, then in my opinion, Tennessee needs to finish at least 8-4 next year. But also, you can't lose to Florida 34-3, and you can't continue to lose by 29 points to Georgia. At some point in time, you're going to have to start competing with your conference rivals at some point in time. Otherwise, it's going to continue to be an uphill battle trying to get the type of recruits that Pruitt needs.
Other non-conference games next year are Charlotte, Furman, and Troy. So
Charlotte, Furman, and Troy.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, you know, unless we have an absolute Georgia State meltdown again, you know, that should be 3-0. And then, you know, like we've talked about on here many a times, you should never lose to Kentucky. You should never lose to Vanderbilt. So there's 5. You know, South Carolina is quickly becoming a huge dumpster fire.
Yeah.
They don't even want their coach. So, you know, there's no excuse not to beat them again next year. So
well, look at this team this year. This team is probably going to end up 5-3 in conference play.
Yeah. And
you know,
third in the SEC East.
Yeah, 2 losses coming to teams they should have beat, even though one of them scared me to death. But still. 5-3 in conference play is a step ahead of 0-8 in conference play.
2 years removed from 0-8.
Yeah.
The one thing that I like,
Worst season in history, Tennessee history.
yeah, the one thing that I like, we are one game away from running the table in November.
Yep.
And that's what Tennessee football used to do.
Always did, yeah.
You'd get to Halloween, you'd get past that the third weekend in October, third Saturday in October, and you know that was the one you circled, and that's always a tough one. But Tennessee used to November was just prepare for the bowl game.
Yep.
What's wrong with my headset?
I don't know. I think it sounds
Brandon
fine. I don't know why
Brandon
people complain. It sounds. This is a Rock Band video game microphone, and you guys never make fun of me.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it just looks funny, but
Although
anyway.
We were doing the Wrestling Council Thursday, and a big time artist in the comic book community came on, and he was like, "Tell Boogie to move that stupid pop filter away from his face. It looks like it's hanging off of his bottom lip." And I was like, "Oh, really? Really? You want me to? I'll move it. I'll move it just for you, John. You're here, John. You're a good person. I love you. I'm a fan of you. I'll remove it just for you. There you go. It's gone. Is that better?"
What was it? The Talkin VAWLS picture?
Yeah. He was like, "Okay, you got me. You got me." But I think we're about to wrap this thing up. Any final comments you guys want to make about the game tonight or the future of this program? Unless we start getting some super chats, guys. Wink, wink.
Which bowl opponent? I think
Davis said something about.
I think Davis was in there.
Was he saying Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that. I kind of would be surprised that Michigan would probably drop down to the Tax Slayer Bowl because I think
me too.
They're like 8-3 or something or 9-3, something like that. Of course, they play Ohio State Saturday, so they'll
That's another loss.
So they'll probably be 8-4. So I mean, I guess 8-4 versus 7-5 team, I'd take it. You know, I'd love to play. You know, I would rather, even though that I would imagine that it would be a tougher game. You know, I could get a lot more excited for a Michigan-Tennessee matchup than probably Indiana or another Iowa matchup or something like that.
I just want to win, man. I don't care.
I do
if they
too.
play.
Yeah.
Robert Craig says JP wants Minnesota. I would take that all day long. I would love to beat Minnesota.
Yeah. We would kick their hind end. Oh, PJ Fleck could be rowing that boat back to Minnesota as hard as he could go.
I was watching them today, just hoping they would lose so I could text Robert. He comes from up. No, he's a Yankee. He does not understand SEC football. He's starting to learn. Trying to teach him.
What was the score of the Minnesota game?
They started pulling away. I turned it off.
Who was they playing?
I don't even remember.
That's how paying too much attention there.
That's how invested I was.
Who was it?
They were playing Northwestern.
Who were they playing?
They were playing Northwestern.
No, they're playing. It
was Northwestern is who they were playing.
Oh, they're like 2-8 this year in the Big
They're
Ten.
Awful. They're terrible.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to be awful to be 2-8 in the Big Ten. You'd have to be awful.
All right, here you go. I got a question that rolled through all day, Vol. What do you all think about Pruitt pulling on the jersey of what's his name on the sideline? That would have been Schamberger after the.
Schamberger took it like a man.
I had no problem with it at all.
He put his helmet back on, and he went back in like 2 plays later.
It was a stupid play by Schamberger.
Listen, and we talked about it before with the Pruitt and Garantano deal. I played, Pee Wee football played my freshman year in high school. I don't know how many times I had my jersey tugged on, my pads tugged on, or my face mask grabbed, in my face talking. That's part of it.
It bothers people that don't play the game more than the people that got their face mask grabbed or their jersey grabbed.
There wasn't a practice that went by that my offensive coordinator did not just hit me right over top of the helmet with his clipboard. I mean, it was every practice.
I mean, and you want to talk about that? That is nothing compared to the verbal assaults you can take.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
it's ridiculous.
It's part of coaching, and typically, you don't see it on the sideline, but I talked about it earlier. I guess maybe Wednesday. That's something that when I was talking about the Pruitt coming in to change the culture, he came in and said these kids don't even know how to practice, and I think that's part of all of this. He's teaching and trying to coach these kids up, and some of them.
Sorry.
Thinking of the
they're asking if JP played quarterback.
No, that's a big negative. I was offensive lineman and a defensive lineman.
What I liked about that situation was Schamberger's response. He had Schamberger by the jersey. Schamberger looked him in the eye, took it like a man, said yes sir, and went about his business. End of story. That's it.
Yeah, and I mean that's what it was. Pruitt and Schamberger knew it. Schamberger knew it as soon as he had done it. But that's a teachable moment.
Oh, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, I don't. I mean, obviously he wasn't. But people even want to even bring that up as an issue. They just need to quit watching sports. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
That's
they never played a sport in their life. That's the problem.
Well, that's what's wrong with society. And I'm not getting off on that tangent, but we need more of that stuff. We need more of that stuff. We need more of that people getting up and when people do stupid stuff and grabbing them up like that or whatever. I mean, that's what they need to be disciplined like that.
Is this time for
I'm not talking about
JP to take the whole screen up? Is this another JP rant?
No,
there we go.
It's not a rant.
Go get him, JP. Go get him.
It's not a rant, but it's just crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy that and I don't know if anybody will say anything about it or not. They probably will. They'll probably be like, there's Pruitt, he's off his rocker again. He's showing him up and he shouldn't be doing that and all that stuff, whatever. That's crazy. He was just going to make sure that he told Schamberger, you better not do it again. Because, it cost us. It cost us. What was that? We had them third down and it gave them a 15-yard penalty and they end up going down and kicking the field goal and making a 4-point game. So, it could end up being a huge play.
Yeah.
Matt Griffin says you put the tag on the screen and JP just goes off. I love it. We got to wrap this thing up. We're over an hour. We'll be back Wednesday for the regular Wednesday show, 7 p.m. Come hang out. We'll talk about Vandy. Some of you were talking about the giveaways. We'll get back to that. Darber will give away some stickers.
Yeah, the bye week kind of threw us off there.
Yeah, it did. But I think that's it, man. I think that's going to wrap it up for Talkin VAWLS episode number 72.
We're going bowling, Rocky Top, you'll always be home, sweet home to me. Good old Rocky Top. Woo! Rocky Top, Tennessee.
That was unexpected. GUI 865 Gaming throws a $1.99 tip our way. Thank you for the support. We appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys. We appreciate everybody that just shows up and hangs out. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Even if you just, a lot of you guys, I see the analytics, you just search Talkin VAWLS right before we go live, and that's how you find the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. It'll let you know when we are live. But that's it. That's going to wrap it up for Talkin VAWLS episode number 72. For VAWLS JP, for Darber Greer, my name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Jack Kerouac, he drank himself to death in New England, and I'd like to take his hand and say, Jack, man, it's okay. Now he's gone, and we're left to move on without them. The songs howl like beat, poets at an RJ, soaking moonlit falls on broken passes inundated north that we call home. And it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive. Black and white headlights pierce